Hello, hello, and welcome to the Sweet Spot with Deanda. I'm Deanda, and today I think I want to really kind of get into um, how sometimes I can't find the sweet spot. How sometimes and I want to say, um, probably in the last month, I have, kind of start working my program, if you will, um, to get back into the sweet spot. But I was feeling a bit of winter blues, I guess is the best way to describe it. And just kind of imposter syndrome was coming up for me. And I will say that two or a few things, or at least one thing that I know that had changed in the started at the first of the year and just kind of had me kind of off kiltered a bit. Trying to figure out, okay, something's missing. I'm not, it's yeah, I'm not feeling myself 100%. And y'all, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was kind of one of those things where I was functioning, like I was, getting up, logging on for work and doing the things, hanging out with my friend. But a couple of things came up that I realized. One is, you know, um, not being around people people that I love and people who love me um, is a thing and something that I need. And so I had to be more intentional about um, when I realized that that was, one of the things that was happening, that I was missing that. Um, I had to, kind of, what do I do? What do I do? Right. So one of the things that I did was I got back in therapy. I already have a biweekly, twice a month mindfulness group that virtually we meet, and which is extremely helpful. But I was not in a one-on-one therapy, which I felt like I needed to. I needed to talk to someone. And I'm going to be honest with you. I spoke with her, and I want to say in the first 15 minutes, I don't even know if it was that long, she had, kind of diagnosed me, which I was a little like, how dare you have a name for it? Just like almost mad at her for saying that, hey, I think you have functioning depression. And here's the thing, one would ask, why were you mad at her for being able to diagnose you? Well, I felt like, and this is a Deanna thing, I felt like I needed at least a couple of sessions for her to, say, let me evaluate you and talk to you more and, figure out what the problem is. And like I said, I don't even think it was 15 minutes after me just kind of rattling off, hey, these are the things that I'm experiencing and this is how I'm feeling. She says to me, yeah, I think you have functioning, depression. And I was like, of course, that makes perfect sense because I am functioning. I'm getting up every day. Even when I want to not crawl in bed, crawl under the bed. So I have like a bed skirt on my bed. I want to like crawl under there and just pull the curtain, and just get in, this cocoon of a thing. And I'm not sure I want to come out, right? That's the feeling that I had. Um, and I, once I started talking to her about it, I started, kind of feeling a little bit better on, oh, that's the thing. I think once I had a name for it, um, I was able to, kind of then take action to, kind of get around it and get in front of it. And one of the things for me is journaling. So yeah, you would think if I know that that's a thing that, works for me, why not do it, right? But I wasn't journaling. So, and it's really a story behind it, but I'm not going to get into that here. Um, so I started back journaling. I also, I'm an avid reader. And so I started getting back into some of my, looking at my bookshelf and going to the library, which, I love that too. Um, and so I found this book, Self Reiki, and I started using that and, kind of using some of the tools that it provided me with, which was really good. Um, and also The Goddess Solution, which I found this book a few years ago by Lisa Marie Rankin. And I feel like I just found it in the library. And then, when I do that, I usually then say, okay, I need to have this in my library. So I had to go get me a copy. Um, but what it does is it assigns a goddess to almost every aspect of your life, right? A goddess principle, affirmations for that goddess, meditation for that goddess, a journaling prompts for that particular goddess. So y'all know I was in my sweet spot with this book, period, right? So this book was in my possession during this, kind of really blue moment. And I went back to it, pulled it back out and just kind of started, coming out of this fog, if you will. I also found, and I want to say that both the self Reiki and the manifest your visions journal, I got those from Five Below, y'all. Yeah, I know. Well, one, I love to journal. So this is essentially just a journal, and it helps you kind of put in what you want to manifest for the day, what your intentions are, what you want your to-dos to be to accomplish those, what you want to manifest in that day, what your wins. It has a list here, a place for you to list what today's wins are, actions I can take to support my intentions in this book. Again, $5, but they have these kind of things all over the place. You can find them on Amazon. As I said before, this one I got at Five Below. And I liked it so much, I also got my friend one because I knew that she would appreciate it too, my friend Diamond. So that was one thing that took place. And I ran across this posting on Instagram, and I want to see if I can find it, find out who it was. But I'll see if I can do that, and I'll link it in the description. But anyway, she talked about how she stopped following three women that she respected and that she had been, following, and they were mentors to her and just kind of leaders for her. And she stopped following them after a period of time that they came on their platforms, or they revealed that they had been going through some stuff. They had been depressed, and they had been, kind of just not feeling basically what I just told you that I had been going through. And the reason why, because I was like, why'd you stop following them? What, these were your people, these were part of your people that help you get to be you. And she said they never revealed that they were going through anything. They were posting these things that made them look like super women, and that they didn't go through, these type of things. So not only was it a shock that they had or they were going through these things, they didn't show her how they came out of it. And so she felt some kind of way about it. That's the best way to put it. And so I was thinking about that post, and it prompted me to want to do this video for you all to just kind of tell you, hey, I'm human and I have my moments. That is not always, rosy. But here's the thing too with that is, yes, people show you what they want you to see, because I'm revealing something to you, but I'm not giving you everything, right? Nor will you give me everything. And this is, I mean, down to my partner. Like, I know they won't be able to give me 100% because that's just not what we do as humans, right? But I can see her point. I can see the point of it's almost like she felt lied to or betrayed, because you showed me this piece of you and you didn't show me this piece of you, and you basically told me that you were good, you were one way, and you really wasn't. You really weren't. You really were in this dark place, and you were trying to tell me that I need to do X, Y, and Z, and you're not able to do X, Y, and Z. So I see it. It's kind of like, can you imagine Oprah saying that, I didn't meditate? I really don't write in my journal, even though she's shown us, you know what I mean? So, I mean, because we know that Oprah has her moments because she's human, right? She's allowed to. However, I feel like she also gives us the kind of, middle moments or human moments. That's the best way to say it. Human moments that we all go through, and we do sometimes, put up this picture or image of ourselves that we're all good and, you know, everything is rosy or whatever. And you do start to think that, like, you're like, oh, this person, I never really think, that this person, cries over this or whatever, because you never see them, in that light. And so I, basically come to you today just to say that I do, I have my moments, and I suffer from depression from time to time, and sometimes it's harder than others to come out of it. And sometimes not. For me, it is a conscious and intentional thing to figure out and get back to the practices that I know that will help me blossom and get past it. And like I said, every time, it's not the same. It's not the same every time. Just writing in my journal sometimes is not enough. I have to add something to it because I, live alone and, work alone or whatever. I have to be intentional about when I do leave, the house. It's like when I do want to incorporate, people around me and how I do that. I have to be very intentional about that. And part of that is, going and being able to go and visit with my family, being able to go and basically co-work with my sister, right? And be able to reach out to my girlfriends, my tribe, my accountability partners, because that was another thing. So two of my accountability partners, we basically meet, had a schedule. We met every week virtually because we're in different states here in the States. And even when we were, kind of outside of the country, we would still, make time to come together once a week to kind of, hey, what can I support you in? What can you support me in? And blah, 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 blah. So at the top of the year, this year, they were in a completely different time zone. First, one was in Mexico, which was, pretty decent because we were on the same time zone. So we kept going. But then she left and went to the to South Africa as well. So they both went to South Africa. And we stopped. And so I'm thinking, oh, I'll be good. This will be, time for me to just kind of, do some of the things that I had on my to-do list that, I really need to just kind of pour into or whatever. Cut to me like almost a screeching halt to all of those things. And like I said, I was in, I like the word to use the term, in this blue, wintry, kind of moment of I didn't want to do anything. And I didn't do anything. The little bit that I did do was just to kind of like say, say face or whatever, like I had to host book club. I got the strength to do that. I went to book club, when I didn't host it. So it's like, little things like that. Like I said, I was functioning. But just barely. And the sweet spot ended up being, what are those things, Deanda? I had to really kind of go back to those intentional things that pulls me out of the blue moments. And one of them was, going to visit my family, co-working with my sister, writing in my journal, getting vitamin D, like physically going outside for walks on a daily basis, not, even though it's cold, still doing it. And I, started coming out of it and I started back therapy. And I noticed that, the blues started subsiding and a little, sunshine and, all that came in to play. But yeah, I mean, sometimes we only show you what we want you to see. And I just wanted to share with you that, yeah, I have my moments and I'm sure you do too, sis. And I hope you do, take me up on finding some of these little tools that I've used that have been a tremendous help in getting me over and out of the blues and into my sweet spot. So I hope this helps. And I will